Un, dos, tres.
Next up we have Soraya Sobradad.
Hey, Soraya Sobradad's cooking show for Thanksgiving, y'all. Come on in. My name is the super sexy, super fabulous, and super desirable Soraya Sobradad. Entra a mi cocina, honey. Welcome to another segment of Soraya Sobradad's Fierce Cooking Show. It's Thanksgiving Eve in real time. I don't know how many women actually cook with their favorite little black slinky dress and fishnet stockings, darling, but Soraya Sobradad for Thanksgiving is, okay? Because it's all about being fierce, being sexy, and you know, honey, you have to always have your man in mind, you know what I mean? Like when he comes home, honey, like my cameraman, he's not my man, and when he came, I was ready, honey, and looking fierce. Hello. Okay, so here we go with the recipe. What I'm gonna do is my whole wheat stuffing. What am I calling this recipe? Soraya Sobradad's Soulful Slammin whole wheat Ecstasy stuffing. How's that? It's gonna be healthier this year than other years. So we're gonna season the whole wheat stuffing made from scratch with turkey sausage instead of the sage pork sausage, okay? Which it's delicious with the sage pork sausage, but so much fat in that pork sausage. And honey, you know, we gotta stay healthy and stay fierce. So what we're gonna do is start with a little list of the ingredients. Now, you see I'm taking the turkey sausage out of the freezer, and the reason for that is because it's easier to cut the sausage in pieces when the sausage is a little frozen. Not totally frozen, because it's gonna be very hard. And I'm gonna have to get a real man here to help me cut the sausage, because they'll be brick hard, the way I like my men. Hello. We have 2 packages. I like the Shady Brook Farms. For this recipe, we're not using the hot. I love hot sausage, if you know what I mean. I'm gonna try to keep this recipe clean. I'm gonna go with the sweet sausage. I use 9 sausages, okay? We're going to turn on the heat. Hello. We're gonna saute the meat. We're gonna use butter, of course. I wanna use 1.5 sticks. I wanna go low fat, but then I wanna have a really good flavor of butter, because that's what makes the stuffing really good. Definitely gonna put at least 1.5, all right? And this is turkey sausage, very lean, low in fat, not pork. I eat this sausage all the time, I love it actually. So, Feliz Dia de las Gracias, for those of you who speak Espanol como yo. Now we added some chopped onion, and there's 2 large Spanish onions, honey, that I'm using. With the butter and the onions. You want to come here and just take a look in the pot? We have the turkey sausage, butter, and onions. And I'm going to go by eye, as I usually do, as far as how much to add. Chopped celery, of course, this is what makes a stuffing recipe, is the celery and the onions. And in my opinion, butter. Butter and fat, but we don't want to use pork fat again. You just don't want to use that this year. Because honey, you see my waistline, darling? Do you see this waistline? Honey, pork will just ruin it, okay? So we want to keep the waistline beautiful, trim and slim, but yet enjoy a really good recipe and really good food. Because you can do it. You can cook healthy. You know, it can be tasty. Like that Ratatouille movie. Anyone can cook, honey. You can cook good and you can cook low fat. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cover that just to get all of this simmer down. You can take a look in the pot. That's where the action is right now. We have the meat that's cooking, not browning yet. We have the onions and the celery that's getting soft. Now what this pot has is 9 cut up lean turkey sausage, sweet, about 1.5 large onions cut, your celery cut up. I'm going to lower the heat because I think it's really bubbling up. So now what we're going to do is get into our powdered spices. Okay, and I've mentioned to you before about organic turmeric. This is what's going to give the stuffing a really golden color without an artificial coloring. Okay, it's natural. And turmeric is known to be an additive to prevent Alzheimer's. So, you know, I'm a strong advocate of natural herbs and spices, and then if there's a health benefit like that one, I'm going to go for it. Okay, we're going to go with a little bit of the Bell's seasoning. This is the salt-free. We're just going to add a tad. What's a tad? Maybe, this is a big recipe, so we're going to have like 1.5 tablespoons. Okay? That has sage, that has rosemary, it's got all those great spices that will make this a really fabulous stuffing. So that was about 1.5 tablespoons of the Bell salt-free poultry seasoning. and about a tablespoon of turmeric. Okay, just because I know some of you don't want to hear measurements. It's important so you can replicate this recipe at home. That's the reason why I'm doing this show. Okay, so you can learn some of this and do it at home. And honey, satisfy your man with some real flavor, honey. Nothing artificial. This is not a 99-cent box of stovetop stuffing, okay, which is delicious, but it's got all artificial MSG, all this madness to make it taste good. And it does taste good, but it's white flour, MSG, sugar, whole dozen of ingredients. Let's stir up the spices. I don't want to add any more butter. I think it's going to be fine. Okay? Again, this is my first recipe of low fat. The breads that I use, I think you should know, is this brand here. I don't know if I'm going to say it right. Moistening. They have an excellent line of different breads that are like really freaking high fiber. What's good about this bread is that this bread has whole kernel rye, water, wholemeal rye flour, salt, oat fiber, malt extract. It's got a little bit of yeast. Yeast is the last ingredient. Very little artificial additives. And you notice there was no sugar, no salt in that. So it's a nice, thick, hearty bread. I balanced the recipe with a light bread. For this recipe I used the Pepperidge Farm light style, but this has twice the fiber. You know, I'm a fiber queen. And it's all about this recipe being high fiber and healthy and delicious. So I cubed up the bread, seasoned it, because I like to have the seasons roasted up. It's nice and brown, nice and beautiful like me and the men that I love. And the cameraman's nice and brown too. And I love him, he's a great guy. So this is what we do. We now add the cubed, seasoned bread to the stuffing. Oh, this is going to be a lot. More than what I anticipated. Oh my goodness, is it all gonna fit? Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I put it all in there anyway. How beautiful. Oh my goodness, darling. This is another product that I really love. Kitchen Basics chicken cooking stock. Okay? Let's look at the ingredients here. Chicken stock, chicken flavor, sea salt, honey, vegetable stocks, which is carrot, onion, mushroom, celery, bay, thyme, and pepper. Fabulous. No fat. And I've used this in so many recipes. I think I'm going to add like 1.5 containers of this. This is going to moisten it all up. Now we're going to mix this all up. And the one thing that I didn't add, that I'll add last, is the adobo. I just want to make sure that on the salt content, that it comes out perfect. So I want to kind of do a taste test as we go along. Cameraman, you want to come a little closer so we can just take a look at all this beautiful, lovely food that's being mixed around. What we're trying to do here is get the bread mixture, of course, to mix with all the rest of the ingredients, but we want to kind of check the consistency. Like some people like a firmer stuffing where the bread looks cubed and is not as moist or, God forbid, mushy. I love it mushy. Cameraman, take a look. I am a diva that does not wear an apron in the kitchen. My first couple of shows, yes. So no apron. No apron. Okay, back to the pot. We're going to need more liquid. Now for some people this would be fine. They would be like, you know what, I like it with the bread is cubed. No, I like it really moist. So we're probably going to use 1.5 of these. So we added some more liquid. This part is to your liking, your preference of how moist you like your stuffing. I like my stuffing, like I said, you know, really moist. I still think it needs a little bit more liquid. And since we're going to add more liquid, we're going to be stirring another ingredient, raisins. Raisins in this recipe is so fabulous. You know why? Because you've got the meat flavor, which is a little spicy, Italian sausage. And then you have the raisins. It's like sweet and like spicy. It's like raisin bread, you know, in a way, but with meat. And God knows I love meat, honey. Love meat. This is about 2 cups of raisins. And sometimes the golden raisins are good to give it a contrast and color, but I chose regular raisins today. So a little bit more liquid. So we're going to like 1.5 to 1 3/4 of the chicken stock, okay everybody? So make a note of that. I'm going to pump up the volume here, and I mean heat. And I'll keep putting the pot holder over here. And then we're gonna stir it up. And then we're gonna give it a little taste test to see if we need to add any adobo, which I believe we got, because it's a big recipe. It's truly a labor of love. And now we're gonna give it a little taste test. And I think it's gonna need the adobo. I really do. Pretty good without it. That's pretty good that it doesn't have the adobo. But you know what? We're going with the 2 sticks of butter. It needs a little bit more kick. I'm sorry. Try to do this as low fat as possible. And I think actually I'm gonna have to go with the 3 sticks because the butter and the fat rinse it together. Okay. So this is still gonna be low fat. We're not using that pork sausage, okay? Remember, look at this big pot with 3 sticks of butter. It's not a bad deal. And this is gonna melt down and cook up a little bit, and then we'll be back. Hey darlings, we're back. We're almost done with this recipe. So we have 3 sticks of butter in this recipe. And myself and the cameraman, while the butter was melting up, we gave it a little taste test. Does taste really good. So kudos for the turkey sausage. Kudos that this whole pot has 3 sticks of butter. I didn't add any olive oil or anything else like that. And it still tastes really good. And it tastes good like this without it even being roasted in the oven. So hello. Soraya Sorbada is fierce again. Hello. I was telling the cameraman, he goes, this could taste better than that while we were on break. I'm like, yes, with the sage sausage? Oh, that just brings, and of course, anything with fat tastes better, right? Hello. Let me think. All the men that I've dated and had sex with had fat, and they tasted lovely, honey. When they're too lean, they're mean. I love my men gentle, honey. So a little bit of fat is okay. It kind of smooths things out, you know, and it just tastes dreamy and creamy. Okay, honey, back to reality in the kitchen. And you can do the taste test when you cook it. Taste it and see, does it need salt? Does it need more sage? Does it need more butter? You know, you have your preferences. Now, the cameraman was a little hungry, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna get his started. I live for these little pots, and this is gonna cook really good for this serving for him. So, we're just doing like that. Okay, this is gonna be for him. I don't know what I'm gonna eat for dinner. I know I'm hungry too. But maybe I'll try just a tad, just a little bit. Cover it, and we put it in the oven. Now, depending on the quantity that you're gonna cook up, depends, of course, the time that you're gonna have it in the oven. Excuse me. I'm gonna give it 20 minutes. And then, when the 20 minutes is up, I'm gonna let the top brown for 5. Because what I like to do is put them in containers like this. As I go to visit relatives and stuff, I bring a little tray of this, which they totally love. We'll be back in a half hour when the serving will be done and roasted, and we can do a final taste test and then say, the stuffing is done, it tastes fabulous. It's done, the recipe is done. This is a hot kitchen. Like I've said, mi estufa es muy caliente. And cooking like this, darling, alright, is fierce. Again, it's a labor of love, and it's Thanksgiving. So we have to like treat ourselves to really good food, not overeat, have a civil time with the family, make good decisions about what we're gonna eat, what we're gonna drink, who we're gonna spend it with loving family and friends. Yeah, there's stuff going on out there that's kind of crazy right now. We're in very weird times, but let's be grateful for our health, that we're alive, because so many of us are not here today. I know a lot of my friends aren't here anymore. And I'm so grateful to be here, so grateful to be cooking for you all, so grateful to have this fabulous outfit and this whole vibe of my cooking shows. I'm really glad all of you are here and enjoying this. And speaking of enjoying, the cameraman is, as usual, at the end. We always do this. As usual, I'm hot, so the food is hot. So be careful. Don't burn yourself. Proceed with caution, as I tell all the men that I date. You get 2 for the price of 1 when you date Soraya, honey, if you know what I mean.
Very good.
Is it good?
Mm-hmm.
You sure? It's not just because Soraya made it?
No.
Okay, good. I know you'll be honest with me. That's one thing. You're very... No, you can stick your spoon right back in that pot there because you're the one that's going to eat it. Because I'm waiting till tomorrow. But you know what? Lie. I'm going to taste it, though. No, not the pot. Take a look at me. Now, usually I like to brown this a little bit more, but, you know, we're kind of pressed for time. Mm-hmm. Wow, we did it. That's really good. That's really good without the sage or sausage. Wow, nice. Perfect. Perfect. What that needs is a big fat turkey leg. Hopefully somebody I know. But then again, I don't take turkeys. Used to. Thank you so much for being with me today. Happy Thanksgiving and a prosperous and wonderful New Year and a safe and fabulous holiday. Thank you. Bye.